If you yourself or somebody you know is dealing with thoughts of depression and suicide, please remind those people and yourself that you are not alone. You are not alone. There's always hope and there's always tomorrow. I left the suicide hotline number down in the description box below. That number will connect you to an individual willing to help you out and try and get you back on the right path. What's up, Warlord Squad? My name is Anime Warlord, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another Otaku Story Time. And this Otaku Story Time is going to be quite an emotional one. This is the story of the first and the last time I met the greatest Power Ranger we have ever gotten. His name was Jason David Frank. Without any further ado, let's begin. So, before I deep dive into this amazing yet tragic story, I thought I'd give you guys a brief history of my experience with Power Rangers. So, I can't remember how old I was when I first watched Power Rangers, but I do remember me and my younger brother bonding through Power Rangers. Me and my younger brother are really close, and what made us even closer as siblings was bonding by watching Power Rangers. Our parents would always buy the VHS tapes for us, and sometimes, if we're lucky, me and my younger brother would watch it on the Fox box and Jetix. Any of you guys out there remember Jetix? Yeah, good times, man. Good fucking times. So, anyways, the first series that me and my younger brother watched together was Mighty Morphin, and then we kind of just sort of like jumped around the franchise a little bit. It all depended on what was airing at that time. Sometimes they would air Power Rangers on the weekdays, like me and my younger brother would have like big ass bowls of cereal and just watch Power Rangers on TV. And sometimes we would even watch Power Rangers on the weekend because they pretty much had a randomized schedule for Power Rangers, and they didn't just air Mighty Morphin on the Fox box and Jetix. No, they aired different shows of the Power Ranger franchise. Like they would air Mighty Morphin, of course. They would also air, SPD. They would do Lightspeed Rescue. They would also do Mystic Force, Wild Force. They just basically jumped around the franchise and just aired whatever they felt like airing that day or that weekend. And of course, how can I forget video games? Because me and my younger brother bonded through Power Rangers video games as well. Back in the day, we shared an N64 console. It was just amazing. And one of my favorite games for the N64 was the good old-fashioned Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. I loved that game. It just brings back so many memories to just talk about it with you guys on camera. And if you guys have played Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue on the N64, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just, oh, so good. 64-bit Power Rangers action, and it was just a chef's kiss masterpiece of a game. And not only was the Power Rangers Time Force a chef's kiss masterpiece of a game, this was also a masterpiece of a game. This is Power Rangers Ninja Storm for the Game Boy Advance, and me and my younger brother both had a copy when we had our first Game Boy Advances back in the day. Unfortunately, my younger brother doesn't have a Game Boy Advance anymore, but I do. I recently got that for Christmas 1 year ago, as you guys know, and I recently got this year. And what made this game so fun is that this one was one of the most fun beat 'em up games that me and my younger brother have ever played. As you can see, you can choose from multiple different Rangers. You have the main team with the Red Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and the Blue. You have the Thunder Rangers, and you have the Green Samurai Ranger. It's just absolutely wonderful. Yeah, see, the graphics are great. It's fun. So if you're a Power Rangers fan and if you have a Game Boy Advance, you have to get this. I cannot stress that enough. All right, let's get on with the story. So it was early 2020, and C2E2 in Chicago, as you guys already know, it's my favorite convention of all time. And They wanted to have one last hurrah before they basically shut down everything for the COVID-19 pandemic. And I met Jason David Frank on my last day of C2E2. So it was day 3. And when I saw the guest on the list, I'm just like, oh my God, because I recognized some names that I really wanted to meet. I met George Takei. I already have his autograph. You guys already know that story. And I also wanted to get the autograph of Jason David Frank because he was selling his autograph for cheap. But I had already spent all of my money, which was quite unfortunate. But I had a great first year at C2E2. I kind of wish I went a little bit earlier, like maybe a couple of years before COVID, but you know, what can you do? You got to start somewhere, am I right? So anyways, it was the last day and I had just spent all my money and Jason David Frank was still signing autographs for fans in his line. I was next in line and I just basically said, Mr. Frank, it is an honor to finally meet you, but unfortunately, I don't have enough money for your autograph. And he said, oh, that's quite all right, Alex. Don't even worry about it. But I'm going to give you some warm advice instead. I said, warm advice? And he says, yeah, are you ready for it? And I said, absolutely. So Jason David Frank told me this, and I quote, he says, you know, Alex, you are one of the kindest, most charismatic people that I have ever met in regards of meeting fans. And I said, well, thank you very much. And I said, I'm pretty sure that there's some other people out there that have probably topped me. And he goes, no, you're a real one. I can tell. I can easily tell that you're a real person. You treat me like a person. You don't just basically treat me as, you know, I'm Tommy from Power Rangers and whatnot. You treat me like I'm an actual person because at the end of the day, we're just like everybody else. I mean, yeah, sure, we're famous people meeting the fans at various events, but you treat me like a normal person, not just Tommy and not just any other characters that I have played over the years. You know me just as Jason David Frank, and I really appreciate that. That's something that I strive to see in fans. And JDF's tone turned into a somber tone, and he says, you know, Alex, I've been going through like some rough patches in my life, and honestly, it's crazy. And I said, I know, you know, life sometimes can be like that, but, you know, you can't give up. You know, there's always a light at the end of the darkest tunnel. And that light is called hope. And if you stop while trying to reach hope, that tunnel is going to keep on expanding, expanding, and expanding. And hope will be a little bit more complicated to reach. And he said to me, thank you, Alex. I really needed to hear that. I really did need to hear that. And I said, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. And he just basically grabbed my hand and said to me, listen, Alex, I rarely tell people this, but you are one of few people who I've told this to. And I said, okay, what's up? And he said to me, Alex, with your kind heart, your charisma, and just basically everything about you, even you yourself can be a Power Ranger. You never forget that. Even you can be a Power Ranger. And I said, do you really mean that, Jason? Do you really mean that? And he says, yes, I mean that with all of my heart and soul and every single fiber of my being. Even you can be a Power Ranger. And I just was a little teary-eyed after that. And I just basically said, well, thank you so much, man. You know, honestly, you're hands down my favorite Ranger. And he just basically said, well, thank you very much. I'm glad that I made your childhood awesome. And I said, no, you did more than make my childhood awesome, Jason. You made it absolutely legendary. And he says to me, wow, legendary? I've never heard anybody say that to me before. No fan has ever said that I have made their childhood legendary. I've heard that you've made my childhood amazing, awesome, phenomenal, but legendary, that just takes the cake, my friend. And I said, I mean every single word that I say, Jason. I really mean every single word. And he says, well, thank you very much. And so I left his booth because it was time for me to go back up to my hotel room. And I just basically said, hey, Jason, it was nice meeting you, and I hope to see you again someday. And he says, my friend, I can assure you that you will. The next time I come over to Chicago, I will never forget my friend Alex. And I said to him, and I'll never forget my friend Tommy. Oh, wait, I mean Jason. And he said, thanks so much, Alex. And thank you for saying once again that I made your childhood legendary. I said, absolutely. I meant that with every single fiber of my being. And I always remember, Jason, and we said it all together in unison. Go, go, Power Rangers! And the last thing that I said to Jason David Frank was, I'll see you in the future. And he replied, yeah, Alex, I'll see you in the future. That was the first time and also the last time I met Jason David Frank. When I opened up TikTok, I saw a tribute video by one of my friends just mourning the loss of JDF, and the video was titled R.I.P. Tommy Oliver, and I just basically said, wait, Jason's dead? Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the goat of all Power Rangers? He's really gone? And of course, I went to Google because I wanted to know, what happened? What happened to Jason? And so, after I Googled it, what happened to Jason David Frank, and Google said that Power Rangers actor Jason David Frank dies by suicide at 49, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes. The goat of all Power Rangers died by suicide? Because I remember he told me before that he was going through some trouble. I knew before that he was going through some trouble when I met him 2 years ago at the time. That's why. That is exactly why whenever you are going through some hardships or struggle, please seek help. Please reach out. You are worth more than you know. Sorry about that, y'all. But seriously, though, if you really are struggling mentally and you know that you need help, please reach out. Please reach out to those who love you. And be sure to call the suicide prevention hotline, because I left the number down in the description box below once again. Because there's always hope for you. There's always tomorrow. And there's always a light at the end of the darkest tunnel. I promise. I promise that even though some days may seem like they're really bad, or maybe even the worst days of your life, I can assure you it does get better. It really does get better at the end of the day. Now, when I'm on camera, I deliver, I entertain, and I also feed you guys that nerdy, nostalgic goodness that you all came here for and what you subscribed for. But at the same time, while I'm on camera and I'm delivering and I'm entertaining and I'm feeding, but I'm also thinking about you guys at the exact same time. The same shit goes for when I'm off camera, just chilling like a villain, thinking of new ideas for YouTube here and there. I'm also thinking about you guys as well. I created the Anime Warlord channel not only just basically to nerd out with you guys and have a really good time, but it's also a channel to remind you all that you are not alone and life is exactly worth living, for better or for worse. So I conclude this Otaku Story Time by saying this. I still miss Jason David Frank a lot. Not a day goes by where I don't really think about my favorite Power Ranger. I still watch Power Rangers in his honor. Me and my younger brother still talk about Power Rangers in his honor. And I still help out people who are struggling mentally in his honor as well. Once again, I say, if you are struggling with your mental health, please seek help. If there are other people in your life that are struggling with their mental health, please seek help. Please tell them that there's always tomorrow, there's always hope, and always tell them that you love them and that you cherish them and that you care about them, because suicide is like a chain reaction. Everybody who loves you feel it, because after that person is gone, after doing the unthinkable, everybody feels it. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, everybody who loves you feels what you felt when you were alive. You are going to have good days, you are going to have bad days, and sometimes you're going to have days that are smack dab in the middle. Some days you're going to have the best days of your life, and some days you're going to have the worst days of your life. But I can assure you that life still continues to move forward, and you have to move forward too. And one last thing that needs to be said is a legendary quote from Robin Williams from his hit film, World's Greatest Dad. If you're that depressed, reach out to someone. And remember, suicide is a permanent solution to temporary problems. So this just about wraps things up for today's video, you guys. If you guys liked today's video, give it a like. If you guys have anything to say about today's video, give it a comment. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for future nerdy videos. You guys already know who I am. I'm Anime Warlord. Stay nerdy, stay safe out there. Have a great day, have a great evening, whatever your time zone may be, and always remember to take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Peace out, and once again, rest in peace to Jason David Frank, and for anybody who's watching this video, hold strong. Tomorrow is a brand new day.